thank you for your presentation. I do appreciate some of the changes that you're making. First of all, I have total respect for any business model out there. My concern is that I think that I prefer to see people sell their value,
sure,
as opposed to, and that's not just advertising from Purple Bricks, but any brokerage that uses negative advertising against their own industry, I think is harmful to all of us. And I've had that feeling in watching those ads.
Sure. Clearly you're not the only one. Clearly you're not the only one. Well, I think the reality is you're probably talking about the word commisery. Okay? You're talking about, that's one. That's one. So the word commisery is a made-up word. It's part of our campaign. It's part of our legacy from the UK. I don't feel it degrades what you guys are doing, because it's positioning us as we're number one value proposition for us is our price point. Okay? There's lots of things that we don't do that many of you are doing. Okay? There's lots of ways for you to address what you're doing that we're not doing. Our offer is transparent. It's on the website. I think there's great value and there's room for everyone. It does, like I mentioned earlier, we're also looking for a message that resonates with the consumer. Okay? So I'm sorry you feel that way. I hear what you're saying. And in terms of the value, you kind of had a two-part question there. In terms of the value, the consumers, I think, are the ones that are answering that. So although you don't feel that what we're doing is creating, it's not good for you, I guess, if I could sum that up. What I would say is, for our sellers, for the consumer out there, we're just provoking a conversation. Not everyone that sees our ads calls us and lists right away. But we need to be able to highlight what we're doing a little bit differently and what our small piece of the pie looks like. And that's the piece of the pie that we're going off of. So I hopefully have addressed your question. Okay.
No mission.
Yep.
Is it working?
Yep, that is working.
Okay, there we go. Good on you for everything that you're doing. That's awesome. You're a brokerage. I'm a brokerage. I understand how it works. We're definitely bound by the same code of ethics. One of my concerns, obviously, is honesty in advertising.
Sure.
You advertise local agents, local professionals.
Mm-hmm.
My team's done 12 transactions last year with Purple Bricks.
Mm-hmm.
All successful, all got them done. You advertise local agents. I'd like to know, what suburb of Ottawa is Stony Creek, Ontario? Because 100% of the 12 transactions were done from that area.
So, thanks for your concerns. Of those 80 agents, they're dispersed all across the province. Pardon?
Sorry, for 100% of those transactions were negotiated with agents out of Stony Creek, Ontario that did not have a clue about the Ottawa market.
Quite frankly, I see that hard to believe, because we have a team of 10 people.
To further qualify, I'm born and raised in Stony Creek, Ontario. I live in Ottawa.
Yeah. No problem.
They don't know the Ottawa market.
Well, they are doing 300 to 400. In fact, one of our agents is doing 700 offers on a yearly basis. Ottawa is a very hot market. I believe that they know what they're doing. Our sellers believe and are confident in what they're doing. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, our agents live all across the province. And I think I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough, Randall. I'll accept that as far as you claiming that they have the knowledge and profession.
Yep.
Again, what part of Stony Creek, Ontario is a local component of Ottawa? Because that's what you're advertising in Ottawa.
So you're
local
talking
agents, local professionals.
So that's one component. That's one component of the transaction. As we break down our service into segments, the listing rep is a local agent that lives in Ottawa that does 300, 400, 500 appointments a year and is in that many homes on a yearly basis. So yeah, do I believe that that's a local expert? Absolutely, absolutely. When the listing rep that sets the price does that, I absolutely believe that that's the local expert. That's okay too. Yes, sir. Yes. He's bringing you a microphone here, sir.
Thank you. Oh, I love this.
There you go. You want to come up here too?
What percentage of your deals are closed by other realtors that do charge commission?
That's a great question. So I don't have the number off the top of my head, but there is full collaboration out there. I think what the root of your question is are we having conversations with sellers about commission?
No, that's not my question, but that's a good.
Okay, and the answer to that question is yes. I don't have the exact statistic as to how many we're collaborating, but maybe you could elaborate on that more, or where you're going with that.
I guess again, it's the advertising of
Yep.
free or no commission.
Sure.
Is that in a great number, although we don't know the number,
Yep.
it can't be zero. There is commission.
Yes.
It's coming in from the buyers,
Yes.
but there's definitely commission.
Yes.
And so I feel when I watch that commisery commercial
Sure.
and the guy putting his head in the cake, or the girl, whatever.
I'm glad you've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah. But I always wonder, that is portraying that there's no commission and that you can save. I mean, even your website at one point said that you could save everything, not even including your fees.
Yes.
They weren't even in there. It was the full amount. That's what bothers me, I guess, is that I think it's overstating the case.
I understand your question completely, Hank. Our current campaign does not say the phrase no commission. When our advertising had the phrase no commission, we had a disclaimer in that. You won't find the phrase no commission anywhere at all on any of our advertising right now. And I don't believe that there's a correlation between commisery and the fact that a seller might be paying a commission. Okay? Thanks for your question though, appreciate it.
Good afternoon.
Any other questions?
I have one back here. Hello?
Back here?
Over here. Hello?
Up top? Sorry?
My first question is the statistics you gave at the beginning of your speech.
Yes.
The different transactions. Is that because you're registered in the UK? Are the stats that you gave global, or are they Ontario? Are they national? What
Yep.
were your stats?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. And I debated addressing that at the start of the presentation. I figured because we were in Ontario, I'd focus on Ontario only. So the numbers that we talked about today were all Ontario numbers. Okay?
I have one more thing. You mentioned that you have experienced agents in the different cities. Let's pick Ontario alone.
Yep.
I do know that I'm from the Windsor area.
Yep.
So I know you have a representative in the Windsor area that does the listings.
Yep.
However, the agents that or the representatives from Purple Brick that we speak to on the representing our buyers,
Yep.
we're not sure exactly where we're calling or who we're speaking to. So to negotiate, it's kind of difficult to negotiate with someone that's not part of the market locally.
So we actually do have a member of that team. That's a great question. But we do have a member of that offers and negotiations team that lives in Windsor as well. And she's also been in real estate for about 30 years. So if you'd like to speak with her, I gave you my information. Feel free to connect with me offline, and I'd love to connect to you guys if you want to have a conversation. Okay?
So we can request a particular agent to represent the sellers for Purple Brick? No.
So we have a team of people that's on call to receive and review offers 7 days a week. I wouldn't be able to accommodate you requesting them. I felt like you need reassurance that you have somebody local there, because we do have somebody in Windsor. Whether you get paired up with them automatically on our side, you can always ask, and I can tell you their name offline. I don't want to say it up here on the stage. I'll be happy to give you their information. And by luck, if they're on that day, we'll definitely give it to that person that's working that day. But otherwise, when you're doing 600-700 offers in a year, inevitably you're going to get some offers in Windsor. So although you can't reach out and maybe touch them, or you haven't had a coffee with them before, I assure you that they do know what's happening in the Windsor market. Thank you. Question here in the middle. Just needs a microphone here in the middle.
No, hello.
Hello?
Over here, yep.
Oh, hello? Actually, I'm just I don't think you properly addressed the online reviews issue to the group here. And I'm quoting an article, okay? In an email sent by Purple Bricks Canada marketing department to the company's whole 200 people staff.
Yep.
The online estate agent told employees to ask their family and friends to leave glowing online reviews whether or not they were Purple Bricks customers. Why did this happen, and how can we be sure it won't happen again?
Sure. So, in that email, if you have the email and you're looking at that, I think there's two things. There's a news headline and a story, and then there's actually what happened. We didn't ask for anything that wasn't genuine. We didn't ask for anything that wasn't authentic. Would we do it again? Would we send out an email again? We would ask for reviews. Every business asked for reviews, but would we offer a half-paid day off to the staff member that was able to get reviews? Absolutely not. And that was a one-time thing. It was an error in judgment. And I think that we've owned that publicly.
Hi. So I wanted to ask you, what is your goal here today? What is your message? And what exactly do you think that you gave to this group today? Do you think you accomplished what you came for?
I don't know. I think everybody might interpret what I was saying up here today, but I think I stand true to the fact that I've been with this business a long time, and the reality is there's never been a better time for us to collaborate and work together. I talked about changes that we made at the start of this year that are very collaborative, very cooperative. I've given you my personal information if you have a concern or a question that you can reach out to me directly. And I had the courage to come and stand up here today, knowing that I was going to get questions like that. I'm getting a message that time's up here, guys, so we're gonna...
I just have one more question.
Yep.
As far as professionalism is concerned,
Yes.
Do you not think that if you are a professional and you're listing a property, that you shouldn't list it on the local board so that the realtors that are looking at the property don't have to look at realtor.ca?
So I do think that I'm a professional, as well as I think all my colleagues are professionals. We are not a member of every single board in Ontario. We should be. Yeah, that's good feedback. There's 52 boards. We're a member of some of the largest boards out there. And if you have a specific...
37 boards.
22 were on a shared MLS.
38. Somebody else is 38. Apparently that's a debate. Anyways,
22
guys,
were shared.
time is up here. The reality is with that, it is something that we evaluate. We started with one. We're on 3 major boards. We're a province-wide business. We're a province-wide business. Okay?
And every board will allow you to interboard.
But that costs money and
It's important.
So I'm getting the message here that time's up. I'll take one more question.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm asking about local knowledge because I'm from Port Hope, where we deal
Yep.
with the Port Hope Area Initiative every day. I have spent a year and a half chairing a task force on the Port Hope Area Initiative and the cleanup of the low-level radioactive waste in that community,
Yep.
putting together new schedules, clauses, everything else with our dedicated members and legal staff. So my question is, when you're listing in Port Hope, do your people know about getting that letter from Canadian Nuclear Laboratories, where they are in the testing process, how this is going to affect their sale, and whether you're using the correct clauses to protect your buyers and sellers?
Yeah, let me clarify that for you. We actually sent out an internal communication on that quite some time ago. If somebody's not doing that, I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to get a chance to sit down and coach with them to make sure that they understand that. And if you're available for a conversation, you seem very well versed in that, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.